I'm admitting everybody.
Namaste everyone, I'm Tanay. Welcome to Rutgers in the UVA's Guru Vandana. I request all of you to keep your cameras on throughout the event if possible. Please rename yourself with your first and last name. If you have received a package, please keep it with you for the ceremony. We will be recording this event and will make it available for you later. If you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to message Rutgers in the UVA Tech in the Zoom chat. And we'll be starting shortly, and thank you so much for joining us today.
Namaste, everyone. Welcome and thank you for all joining us tonight for our first ever Guru Vandana event. My name is Sai Tanagi Reddy, and I am a junior studying mechanical engineering and the president of Hindu YUVA at Rutgers. Before we get started with the felicitation ceremony, I would like to pass it over to Anoop, who will give an introduction about the organization and the event.
Namaste, everyone. My name is Anoop. I'm a sophomore studying biology at Rutgers. So I'd like to explain our organization, Rutgers Hindu YUVA. So in order to explain it, we're going to go to the name itself. So YUVA is actually an acronym that stands for Youth for Unity, Virtues, and Action. And here at our Rutgers chapter, we aim to preserve, practice, and promote our Hindu values and create a place on campus for Hindus to practice and express their identities freely. We're a group of individuals that take action in order to bring people together and uphold values of respect and gratitude. Rutgers Hindu YUVA has held events for Hindu Awareness Week, Ganesh Utsav, Sankranti, and discussions surrounding the Hindu American identity. And even throughout this ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, we've been trying to remain active by holding virtual events and partaking in seva or volunteer activities to help our community through these tough times. So today, Rutgers Hindu YUVA is hosting its first Guru Vandana. So once again, to explain what this event is, we can go to a name. So Guru Vandana, in the phrase Guru Vandana, the first word Guru means mentor, guide, teacher, or expert in Sanskrit, the language. And the second word Vandana means worship, praise, or adoration. And when you put these two words together, the phrase essentially means the praise of teachers. So at today's event, we hope to show our respect, admiration, and gratitude for our teachers at Rutgers who are often underappreciated. I'd like to now pass it on to Ananya, who is going to introduce the Dole effect.
Namaste, everyone. My name is Ananya, a sophomore studying biology.
As we move along with today's event, we would like to start off with a classical Carnatic shlok or song about Ganesh from 3 members of Rutgers' very own Dhol Effect. In Hindu culture, we like to start off any religious or important events with a prayer to Ganesh Ji, so that whatever is planned may run smoothly and successfully without obstacles. Without any further delays, please welcome the members of Dhol Effect.
गणनायकाय गणदैवताय गणाध्यक्षाय धीमहि गुणशरीराय गुणमण्डिताय गुणेशानाय धीमहि गुणातीताय गुणाधीशाय गुणप्रविष्टाय धीमहि एकदन्ताय वक्रतुण्डाय गौरीतनयाय धीमहि गजेशानाय बालचन्द्राय श्रीगणेशाय धीमहि एकदन्ताय वक्रतुण्डाय गौरीतनयाय धीमहि गजेशानाय बालचन्द्राय श्रीगणेशाय धीमहि गानचतुराय गानप्राणाय गानातरात्मने गानोत्सुखाय गानमत्ताय गानोत्सुकमनसे गुरुपूजिताय गुरुदैवताय गुरुकुलस्थायिने गुरुविक्रमाय गुह्यप्रवराय गुरवे गुणगुरवे गुरुदैत्यकरक्षेत्रे गुरुधर्मसदायज्ञाय गुरुपुत्रपरित्रात्रे गुरुपाखण्डकण्डकाय गीतसाराय गीततत्त्वाय गीतगोत्राय धीमहि गुद्धगुल्फाय गन्धमत्ताय गोजयप्रदाय धीमहि गुणातीताय गुणाधीशाय गुणप्रविष्टाय धीमहि एकदन्ताय वक्रतुण्डाय गौरीतनयाय धीमहि गजेशानाय बालचन्द्राय श्रीगणेशाय धीमहि एकदन्ताय वक्रतुण्डाय गौरीतनयाय धीमहि गजेशानाय बालचन्द्राय श्रीगणेशाय धीमहि गन्धर्वराजाय गन्धाय गन्धर्वगानश्रवणप्रणयिमे गादानुरागाय ग्रन्थाय गीताय ग्रन्थतर्तन्मये गुणवते गणपतये ग्रन्थगीताय ग्रन्थगेयाय ग्रन्थातरात्मने गीत श्रीगणेशाय धीमहि आसा
A big thank you to Dole Effect for the amazing performance. I would now like to pass the spotlight over to Sumit to explain today's ceremony.
Namaste, this is Sumit and I'm a graduate student in Math Department in Rutgers. So we'll begin with today's ceremony, but before that, I just want to talk a little bit about gurus and their importance. So gurus are given the highest honor in Hindu culture, and one such example of this ideal is Swami Vivekananda and his guru. You'll see on the presentation, so on the presentation, there's a picture of Swami Vivekananda. He's the person to the left, and with his guru, which is Sri Ramakrishna Paramhans, to the right of the picture. So Swami Vivekananda was a great Hindu saint and philosopher who visited the US during the Parliament of Religion in 1893. The Parliament of Religion was one of its kind, like it was the largest congregation, and religious leaders from all over the world came together and explained about the religion. So Swami Vivekananda was there to represent the Hindu religion, and he was relatively unknown at that point of time. So his inaugural address was the first time he came under public spotlight. He's famously known for his inaugural address, which began as Brothers and Sisters of America instead of the usual ladies and gentlemen. And then he went on to explain all the ideas of Hinduism. And then there are many records which say how his ideas about Hinduism captured the whole attention of the US, and it was widely talked about in the media and by the people. So after this, he toured America and Europe and gave many inspiring talks on religion and spirituality. He played a very important role in sharing ideas on spirituality in the West and inspired a lot of people, including the likes of John D. Rockefeller and a lot of organizations like the Vedanta Society. So the main organization that was started by Swami Vivekananda to carry on the work that he had started was named after his guru, and it is today known as Ramakrishna Mission. He was immensely dedicated to his guru and talks about his grace in many talks that he had given and how his guru's mentoring and teaching had enabled him to carry out the immense work that he undertook. His guru's teachings can be found in every aspect of his life. Even today's guru holds this special place, which brings us to the theme of today's event. So we'll begin with today's auspicious ceremony. We have shipped you the things that are needed for the ceremony, and I would request all the professors and administrators to join in. So the package will contain all the material that is needed for the ceremony had we done it in person. And there is also a plaque as a small token of appreciation. So this box has a plaque. Show to you. So if you unwrap it and I'll just put it against the background, on the top, you will see that there is a shloka in Sanskrit. This shloka is a form of prayer, and it reads, Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. This is the transliteration on the top, and the translation is given on the bottom, which says that Guru is the creator, Guru is the preserver, Guru is the destroyer, Guru is the absolute Lord himself. Salutations to that Guru. So in this shloka, we believe in Hindu philosophy that there are three main forces that govern everything in nature. They are the forces of creation, the forces that preserve, and the forces that destroy. So this shloka says that a guru is the embodiment of all these forces, and I bow down in humility to that great guru. We'll begin with the Kumkum and Shawl ceremony, which will be led by Srishti.
Namaste everyone, my name is Srishti. I'm a freshman majoring in biomedical engineering. All the administrators and professors present here today would have received a token of appreciation from us. I will be explaining the kumkum and shawl ceremony, as well as the other gifts the professors and administrators received. We have included a pamphlet as well in the gifts to explain more about Hindu YUVA. Now I'm going to begin with the kumkum ceremony. Kumkum is most often applied by Hindus to the forehead. The reason has to do with the ancient Hindu belief that the human body is divided into 7 vertices of energy called chakras, beginning at the base of the spine all the way to the top of the head. The 6th chakra, also known as the third eye, is centered in the forehead directly between the eyebrows and is believed to be the channel through which humankind opens spiritually to the divine. Thus, the kumkum is placed where Hindus believe to be the most important spot for concentration. We put it on everyone to enhance one's ability and willingness to take in information or ideas. Hindus use the tilak ceremony as a mark of honor and to welcome guests. The tika is a symbol of purity, good luck, bravery, auspiciousness, and many more. Tika is one of the most auguring good luck items in the religious and cultural rituals in the Hindu families. We generally use kumkum during prayers to welcome guests, starting a new job, business enterprise, festivals, or even daily. Now we will be applying kumkum to our foreheads. In the gifts received, everyone would have a cylindrical container which has kumkum written on top of it. Now we are going to open the lid. In the lid, I'm going to take some of the powdered kumkum. With my third finger, I'm going to use my third finger for the ceremony as it brings peace. I'm going to dip my third finger in the powder. I've got some on my finger and I'm going to place it right between the space between my eyebrows. And we have applied the kumkum. If you guys have people around you, you can apply kumkum to their foreheads as well. Now we will begin with the shawl ceremony. In our Hindu philosophy, we present shawls as a token of appreciation to our respected community members and leaders because we want to felicitate and honor their work. It is considered a rich felicitation present and signifies respect and gratitude. A shawl is a perfect item to represent and signify this veneration through the message of warmth, luxury, and timelessness. It is one of the richest pieces of fabric, which is made with high attention to detail and requires extreme skill. With most pieces, such as hand embroidered, we give someone a detail-oriented item when we want to show our gratitude. Shawl is the highest mark of respect one can give. Likewise, we want to honor all of you in the same manner and present you with the shawls. In the gifts received, there would be a shawl in a plastic wrap. Now I will be opening the shawl from the plastic wrap. If I unfold it twice, I will get a rectangular shape. Now I will be placing my hand like this so that the 2 sides of the shawl are equal in length. Where I have my hand placed, I'm gonna place that piece of cloth on my neck. This is how we would have you wear the shawls in person. The last gift I will be explaining today is this box containing sweets. We give sweets to those we respect and to strengthen our bond with, to add more sweetness in the relationship. At the end of every ceremony, we eat sweets to end it on a sweet note. I will now be passing it over to Ananya to explain the significance of feet touching.
Another way to honor and respect our elders, gurus, and those who have shared their knowledge with us is that we as Hindus will touch their feet. We bend at the waist and bow our head down as we touch our guru's feet. This practice is one that is exclusively Hindu, making it even more significant in our culture. It signifies that we are grateful for the wisdom you have passed down to us and that we bow down to your teachings, spirituality, and acknowledge the pathway that you have paved for us to flourish in. In return, our gurus and elders will bless us by placing their right hand on our head. This practice is generally done as a greeting or as a thank you. Its uses vary in Hindu culture from everyday usage to during or after a ceremony. In my life as a classical Indian dancer, at the end of major performances such as graduation, it's a ritual to touch the feet of my dance guru. This is to thank her for teaching us the art of Hindu storytelling and being able to put on great performances under her tutelage. In return, she blesses us with good health, prosperity, a long life, and the ability to keep dancing. After, I feel more confident in my ability to persevere in the art form, as well as feeling more connected to both my guru and the history of classical dance. It's such a great honor to be taught by some of the best here at Rutgers. And unfortunately, the ceremony is virtual this year. But if it were to be in person, we as students would all feel grateful to touch our guru's feet and be blessed by all of you.
Thank you, Ananya. Namaste, everyone. My name is Jannavi Ganesh, and I am currently a sophomore studying public health and psychology. So it is my absolute honor to be introducing all of you to one of our chief guests for tonight, Dr. Nanda. So Ved Prakash Nandaji is a distinguished university professor at the University of Denver, where he founded the International Legal Studies program in 1972 and now directs the Ved Nanda Center for International and Comparative Law. The center was established in his honor by alumni and friends who have also endowed a professorship in his name. He has taught thousands of individuals in the College of Law in the 55 years since he began teaching, who carry his legacy of selfless service through his devotion to their advancement and upliftment as legal leaders of the world. When he came to the US to study law in 1960, Dr. Nanda was first at Northwestern, then Yale Law School. He worked with the Deputy Legal Advisor to the UN as a student and then intern. He is an honorary professor at the University of Delhi, India, Faculty of Law, and has received honorary doctorates of law from Soka University, Tokyo, Japan, and Bundelkhand University, Jhansi, India. He has taught and lectured at numerous universities in the US and abroad. Professor Nanda holds many leadership positions in the global international law community, including the World Jurist Association, American Society of International Law, International Law Association, American Law Institute, and the American Bar Association's Human Rights Center and Section of International Law. He has served as U.S. delegate to the World Federation of the United Nations Associations in Geneva and on the Governing Council of the United Nations Association of the USA. He is an officer and board member in several international and national NGOs. He is chair emeritus and honorary trustee of the Uberoi Foundation for Religious Studies. He has received numerous national and international awards, including in 2018, the Padma Bhushan, one of the highest civilian awards given by the government of India, the American Bar Association International Law Section's Louis B. Sun Award for distinguished long-standing contributions to the field of public international law, and the National U.S.-India Chamber of Commerce Lifetime Achievement Award. In March 2020, Professor Nanda received the University of Denver's Founders Faculty Medal, the first faculty member in the university's 160-year history to be so honored. So without further ado, I would like to now hand it over to Professor Nanda for a few words.
You didn't ask me to unmute myself. So, but thank you. Thank you for this very generous introduction, Janvi. And let me at the very first express my deepest appreciation to the Hindu YUVA, and especially to Janvi and to all the leaders. You've got so many who have done so much work on it. So Vishwani, Janvi, so many others. And I want to just express my deep appreciation to all of you in Hindu Yuva for your gracious invitation to enjoy this very special occasion. The program began with this melodious voice. Then you had this ceremony, which is absolutely beautiful. And you told everyone how to drape this wonderful shawl that you sent everyone, and you included me in it. But you didn't tell me how to drape it properly. So whatever it is, that's how it's going to be. And after thanking you for this wonderful opportunity, I'm delighted, honored, and privileged that we have with us the respected President Molloy, Holloway, Chancellors Molloy and Cantor, Senior Vice President for Equity, Dr. Branch, Executive Vice Chancellor, Dr. McGinty, and Vice Chancellor, Dr. Meena. I'm deeply honored that they are here with us. And as I look around, there are 309 who are at the present time with us. To my distinguished colleagues, respected colleagues, you have heard what Guru Vandana is. You have also heard how deeply rooted it is in Indian culture, Hindu culture, and how a guru is really revered. A guru is especially thought of as equal to God. And there is a saying in, I won't say it in Sanskrit or Hindi, but the saying is that if I see my guru and God in front of me, whose feet should I touch first? And the people says, it will be my guru, because my guru is the one who's going to show me the path to my own salvation. And so Guru is the manifestation of the Parabrahma, the supreme essence within all of us. I offer my respects to the Guru. That is what these students have done to our respected colleagues, and I'm delighted to be with them. I must say that I never had the opportunity to do Guru Vandana to my teachers. And today you have given me the opportunity to think about it, and I want to pay a special tribute to one of my most respected gurus. This is the late Professor Myers McDougall at Yale, who was my preceptor, mentor, teacher, and dear friend, and whom I will always remember. A towering figure. He was about 6'5" and from good old Mississippi. And he went to Oxford as a Rhodes Scholar. He wanted to go into politics, but he became a professor and a revered teacher, foremost exponent of international law in the world. And he founded the New Haven School of International Law. And today, several highly regarded international lawyers, they owe their profound impact on the field to Professor McDougall. One thing was special about him, and that was that he cared so much for his students. I remember knocking at his door, and there would be a voice coming from somewhere, "Come!" And you would shudder and walk in. And as you walked in, the room was full of papers, books, and he was hidden. And you went up to see him, sat in the chair, and for the next half an hour, 45 minutes, an hour that you were with him, absolutely nothing else mattered to him. You are the one whom he cared for. And that is the kind of guru, that's the kind of teacher that you think of. And at that time, I had decided that when I become a teacher, I'll take care of my students, be with students. And today I can very, very proudly tell you that my students have become my best friends in my life. And there is something special about it, because now I have had the privilege of teaching who became a Chief Justice of one of our states, New Mexico. I have had the privilege of having cabinet ministers here, Secretary Condoleezza Rice, a very good friend. Then the current Foreign Minister of Iran, Jawad Zarif, and I can think of many, many more people. At one time in a president's cabinet, I had 3 secretaries: Secretary of Veteran Affairs, Secretary of the Interior, and Secretary of State. And the amazing part is that all 3 of them remained good friends. And today also I can think of them and many others. Today, general counsels, they have become CEOs of different companies. Around the world, they are in many, many prestigious places. And that really is what a teacher is, that you enjoy seeing people who have risen up, and you enjoy seeing that they today are playing very important roles in their own countries, in their own societies. I had other teachers, both in India, where I had my early education through college, through law school, and subsequently I came first to the University of Chicago, then Northwestern, then Yale. And I can think of today at least 2 teachers, one in high school and one in law school in India. And their names won't mean anything to you, but I today want to pay my respect to several of those teachers who through my formative years and throughout my career have provided guidance and support. I have had the privilege also to serve my students in another fashion. For about 14 years, I was the Vice Provost for Internationalization at the University of Denver. And I have had the privilege at that time to have more than 100 agreements with universities all over the world in order to send my students for study abroad. And at one time, during those days, I had 76% of my undergraduates studying abroad. The university paid their visa, paid their travel, paid all the fees in other countries. And the university had given me $8 million in order to get that done. And at that time, my university had number 2 position in the world, in the country, not in the world. I don't know about the other countries that much. But in our own country, it was number 2 ranking in terms of percentage of students studying abroad. And the only university that beat us was one that had very few students, and all of them had to go to Israel to study during this summer. So, but for that, my university had the highest number of students in percentage studying abroad. And I remember as they would come back and they would tell me stories about total transformation that had happened. And the one thing that appealed to me is that not only were they ambassadors of the United States in those countries, not only did they have the opportunity to understand and appreciate the culture and appreciate all this international interaction, but as they came back, they had a greatest appreciation of our own culture here, of what this country stands for. And so that was the most important work that I felt was done, at least on my watch, and I felt very good about all that. Mr. President, Mr. Chancellor, and my colleagues on faculties at the esteemed Rutgers University, I think I want to thank you for your monumental contribution in opening the minds of students, and especially Hindu students, who I know that constitute almost 10% of your student body, and perhaps the largest percentage of any university in the country. What have I heard from the students? I have heard some very good things about the university in the sense that you have been gracious, you have been helpful, you have been supportive, and I have verified by my own research that it's indeed heartening that you have lent full support to them. They can freely express their views, they can practice their faith, they can have their own traditions, not simply exercised freely, but share with others. And I think that is something very special about Hinduism. In Hinduism, we say that it's not simply tolerance, because tolerance of differences is good. But tolerance simply means at times that you consider yourself to be superior and you tolerate somebody who may not be equal to you, but you tolerate. So in Hinduism, it has been not simply tolerance, but acceptance. And not simply acceptance, but respect. Respect for differences. And this country that is multiracial, a country that has always prized itself at diversity and being conversant with what diversity means. And today on equity, on diversity, on bringing people together, I think that is one thing that universities are doing. And I think Rutgers has been in the forefront of that. And Mr. President, Mr. Chancellor, and chancellors, and all these officials, I want to again express my deep gratitude to you for providing that kind of atmosphere, providing that kind of setting in which not simply Hindus, but all people of different ethnic groups, different nationalities, and their own different traditions, that they are respected, that they have the opportunity to express themselves freely, and that you are there supporting them in doing all that. And I'm deeply, deeply grateful that you do that. Unfortunately, as you know, in many parts of the country, there have been ugly instances of hateful utterances, hateful actions, and especially against Asian Americans, and that has been in the recent past. The outcome has been those ugly scenes of Asians being frowned upon, abused, and harmed. On your campuses, again, as mentioned, you have strenuously made an effort to create a scene of acceptance and harmony. And I sincerely thank you for that. As I was thinking about today, I think the issue came to my attention again of a Hindu girl from a village in Karnataka that's in the south, Udupi, and who was all excited, named Rashmi Samant, being elected the first Indian woman to be the president of the prestigious Oxford University Students' Union. As you probably know, she had run her campaign on the decolonization inclusivity platform. She had received pretty good acceptance and respect and recognition from student body, and a highly, keenly contested election, she won. She made the headlines in India and across the world. All major Indian diaspora news outlets profoundly and proudly covered this news. 2 days later, however, all fell apart. She had to resign. There were allegations of racism, anti-Semitism, transphobia. And the roots were there of these allegations in some of Saman's past social media posts when she was a teenager. I think I need to not simply go deep into the story. But the point simply is that there was Hindu phobia. And one of the person who wrote in the Instagram post, whose official website displays a photo of Modi, the supreme leader, he talked about her. She has come from coastal Karnataka, which is a bastion of Islamophobic far-right forces. Yes, far-right, he said. Desi forces hate white people, Western modernity, because they want to reinstate Sanatan Hindutva. I think the point simply that I want to make is that there are places, unfortunately, where there is no tolerance, where at the present time there is that kind of hate speech and hatred. And I want to again thank you very much for being a university where you consider all who are here as students to be taken care of and provide full support to them. As I said earlier, you have done that. My university has done that. Today, all over, we are talking about equity, we're talking about tolerance. And I think the point simply is that Hindu YUVA, people who have been working very hard and who feel that this university is their own and feel very good working with all of you, I think on their behalf, I want to thank you. On my own behalf, personally, as a faculty member and as former administrator, I want to thank you. And I want simply to say to you that the time has come in this country where in these institutions of higher learning, places where we do have people who with different ideas can blossom. And in this marketplace of ideas, that you create those people who are going to be leaders tomorrow in this country and who are going to lead. I think I again want to thank you for providing a setting in which they can blossom, in which they can feel free, and which YUVA at the Hindu YUVA are, that they feel proud to be a part of your university. So, Mr. President, chancellors, officials, my faculty colleagues, my deep gratitude to you, my pranam to you, sadar namaskar to you. That is the way that we present our own salutation to people. And as you have heard from people saying that when we say namaste, we fold our hands, put them here on our chest, bow our head. And what we're saying is, divinity in me bows to the divinity in you. And we are all people who have got divinity in us. And that is what really at the present time Hindu YUVA practices, exercises, lives by, and you permit them to do it. And again, thank you to all of you. I am deeply honored that you permitted me to be joining you. Right now, I see that there are 332 people on this program. Congratulations for having this wonderful program and the way you presented it, the way you today had all these celebrations done. I'm deeply grateful that you included me in this. So Janvi, thank you. Avina, thank you. All of you, thank you. Pranam.
Thanks so much, Nandaji, for your amazing speech and very kind words. Namaste, everyone. I'm Radha Yali, graduate student at Rutgers School of Public Health. It gives me immense pleasure to introduce our next guest, Chancellor Christopher J. Molloy. Dr. Molloy received his bachelor's degree in pharmacy from Rutgers and his doctoral degree from the Joint Rutgers Graduate School of Biomedical Health Sciences at Robert Wood Johnson Medical School. He was also a postdoctoral fellow at National Cancer Institute. Dr. Molloy joined Rutgers University in 2007 as Dean of the Ernest Mario School of Pharmacy. He made many significant contributions by serving the university as interim provost for the biomedical health sciences. In 2013, he successfully managed Rutgers Complex Integration and the most of former University of Medicine and Dentistry of New Jersey. He also served as interim chancellor of Rutgers Biomedical Health Sciences and then senior vice president for the Office of Research and Economic Development until he was appointed interim chancellor in February 2019. Thank you so much for your time this evening, sir. Without any further delay, I will now hand it over to Chancellor Molloy.
Thank you for unmuting me. And thank you all very much for the invitation, the Hindu Yuva. This is a really special ceremony, and I'm actually very moved to be here. I think I can speak for my colleagues when I say that, as an educator in our roles at the university, our motivation to work is really to share what we've learned inside and outside the classroom with others, with our students, with our peers, with our faculty and staff. The opportunity to watch our students grow and flourish through an academic journey, whether it be in their early years or during college, is really what drives us to work in these positions. And I've had the opportunity in all these roles at Rutgers and as a graduate student and as a postdoctoral fellow, really to work with students, colleagues, peers, where the students are teaching us as much about ourselves and challenging us to see things and to think about things in new and profound ways. And this relationship, this special relationship we have as educators, is really hugely rewarding. And it's a pleasure to be recognized for it, but really the reward is in the relationships. I appreciate the time you've all taken to acknowledge the work that we do and want to do the same to you. I know that it's been a terribly challenging time for our students during this pandemic. And for a variety of reasons, I want to recognize how resilient, driven, and inspirational you all have been to all of us, especially me at Rutgers, as we've managed this last year. I'm very much looking forward to a much more normal fall and to see many of you and meet many of you in person. And hopefully the next time we have an occasion like this, we can do it in person. I am very grateful for this honor and being invited today. And as I heard our wonderful guest speaker speak, I was thinking too of a major guru in my life, or a mentor, someone who really influenced me to go back to graduate school, to take on to really challenge myself. And it's led me to this point in time. I think that's been very special, and to be back at the university, working at a high level at the university I went to and launched from, it's really a pleasure. So again, thank you very much.
Thank you, Chancellor Molloy, for addressing the attendees here tonight, and thank you for everyone who has joined us tonight. It is my honor to introduce our next speaker, who has taken the time out of their busy schedule to attend our event tonight, President Holloway. President Holloway stepped into an already difficult role as the 21st president of Rutgers this year, which was made even more difficult given the situations that arose from the pandemic this year, and has done an amazing job. Before becoming the president at Rutgers, Dr. Holloway served as the provost at Northwestern University, the dean of Yale College, and a professor of African American Studies, History, and American Studies. During his time at Northwestern University, Dr. Holloway oversaw the academic priorities, university's annual budget, allocation of resources, and space for academic purposes. President Holloway's work focuses on post-emancipation U.S. history with a specialization on social and intellectual history. Now we would like President Holloway to say some words about the event. So without further ado, President Holloway.
I said the most profound things in the last 30 seconds. I'm sorry. I can't believe I did that. Thank you all so much for having me today. Thank you for the invitation and the introduction. This has been a really beautiful ceremony, and that's saying a lot given the fact that this is all being done through a Zoom presentation. I'm sure that next year when we are doing something in person, that I will simply be blown away by the enthusiasm of the community, the warmth of the community, and the messages, most importantly of all, of the community. Thank you for these wonderful gifts and for the guidance about how to move how to move through the ceremony. Again, I look forward to this happening in person, and I look forward to being there on that occasion. Thank you as well to Dr. Nanda for his beautiful words that took us through his own journeys, helped us understand one of the great pleasures of being a professor is, yes, one gets to disappear into one's passion and to learn more about an area of great interest, but the true excitement comes in talking with students and trying to communicate your enthusiasm in such a way it becomes their enthusiasm. And I certainly know that I take great joy in the fact that I've moved twice now in my career, 2 different universities, and students from my earliest part of my career are still in touch with me. Quite literally, not a month goes by when someone doesn't reach out to say hello, to check in, or for some guidance. And while I'm honored by all of those, on those occasions when I'm asked for guidance is where those interactions mean the most, because we are connecting at just a deeper level. And Dr. Nanda spoke to those phenomena from his own life experiences across time and space. I also particularly appreciated that Dr. Nanda spoke about the difficult moments that we are navigating in this country. We cannot ignore that. Although this is an evening for celebration and for thanks, we must always be aware of those who are going through particularly challenging times, where their safety is something that they can't be certain of at any given moment. So we must also remember in times of celebration to be sober and sometimes even necessarily somber about the challenges that we all face. But we have to do that if we are hopeful to create a better world. And I think universities are designed, if they're perfectly realized, to make the world better. And Dr. Nanda spoke to that. And I want to emphasize what he said, because it bears emphasizing, it bears repeating. We can't say it enough, especially during these challenging times. I was told that this is an occasion to recognize, told before the event, and then it certainly made clear during the event, that it was an occasion to recognize those people who've been important to us, who've been our gurus or our mentors. And I want to tell a quick story about a person who played that role for me. When I was an undergraduate in college, I was certain, with all the conviction that an 18-year-old has, which is a lot, that I was going to be an orthopedic surgeon, although there was no medical background in my immediate family. I don't know why that's what I knew I was going to do. 6 weeks of calculus reminded me that I was not good at science or math, and I better think of something else. And then I was going to be a corporate attorney, for no reason necessarily, but that was what I wanted to do. And I structured my entire academic career as an undergraduate to look good for law schools. And in the winter break of my senior year, I was visiting, our families were together, extended family. My uncle, who was a very successful corporate attorney, said I wanted to talk with him about my future and about the law. And he said, I'd love to talk with you. And a half hour later, I knew that I never wanted to be a corporate attorney. And it's just not something that resonated with me. And in fact, it didn't resonate with him. He wanted to be a federal judge, which he ended up doing soon enough and had a beautiful career. So I was lost as a senior, heading into, we were on quarters, so basically the second semester in a Rutgers concept. I was lost, and I looked into public policy, public affairs, schools of government, schools of education, all these things that I had some training to do, I thought, and nothing spoke to me. I was writing a senior thesis then with a visiting professor at Stanford, a guy named Elliot Gorn. And I'd taken some classes with him, and I found him to be absolutely inspirational. And one occasion, literally 6 weeks before I graduated, he pulled me aside and said, so what are your plans? And I looked at him like a deer frozen in the headlights. I told him what I told you. And I said, I was able to land with my father's assistance, a one-year public policy fellowship, but I didn't think that was my future. I said, I really don't know. And he said, well, look, have you thought about getting a PhD in history? And I almost laughed out loud to him saying, no, why would I think of that? And he saw something in me that no one else saw. I'm sitting here before you because of this professor who intervened 6 weeks before I graduated, someone with whom I developed a very strong mentor-protege relationship. I was the protege, of course. I didn't dare to say that we were yet friends. That would have been inappropriate. Anyway, he made me think about getting a PhD in history. And we kept meeting. And then beyond graduation, over the summer, I ended up deciding that's what I'm going to try to do. And a year later, I found myself in graduate school. And within 1 month, I realized that this was exactly what I needed to do. And then I was off and running. Now, I tell you that story for a number of reasons. One, because we all go through our journeys from certainty and shock of becoming uncertain, and then the need to figure out another path going forward. That's a really important part of, especially in undergraduate life. I also tell the story because Elliot Gorn and I still correspond. In fact, I think in the last month, he and I were trading emails. This will be 33 years come May, that when he put that idea in my head and set me on this journey. We have stayed in touch all along the entire way. And now I can say we are friends. We've been friends for a long time now. You don't know where you are in your journey, but if you have a mentor, and if you have a guru, you have somebody who can guide you along the way and guide you along the ways in towards a future you never imagined, but that might be the most fulfilling future you could possibly achieve. That's what Elliot Gorn did for me. He continues to do that for me. And I hope that all of you have that person in your life doing it for you. Thank you.
Thank you, President Holloway, Chancellor Molloy, and Dr. Nanda for the kind words you've shared with us tonight. I would now like to pass it on to Darsh to conclude the event.
Namaste. My name is Darsh, and I'm a senior studying labor relations. We greatly appreciate that you were all able to take out the time and join us here today. The interest and willingness that our professors and gurus have shown in understanding our values and culture deeply humbles us. We absolutely admire and appreciate the support that this university has shown for the diverse communities that we and our fellow students come from. It is extremely comforting to know that the university stands behind us. We would now like to recognize all of our professors and administrators individually for all their hard work. So please, if possible, turn on your cameras as we spotlight you. Sahid and John, we will now be calling out our professors and administrators.
Our first professor, Professor Abruzzi.
Professor Aguilar.
Professor Akinsegill.
Professor Bakchi.
Professor Cooney.
Professor Duberstein.
Professor Gore.
Professor Gershenson.
Professor Hellman.
Professor Hines.
Professor Hua.
Professor Keating.
Professor Kim.
Professor Krashen.
Professor Lepore,
Professor Lundin,
Professor Montalvo,
Professor Mueller,
Professor Parveen,
Professor Perez,
Professor Ponusami,
Professor Roy Chaudhary,
Professor Sorensen,
Professor Sukhdeo,
Professor Wicks,
Chancellor Cantor,
Dr. Branch,
Dr. McGinty,
Dr. Bushell,
Dr. Manga,
Dr. Butterfield,
Dr. Talinchi,
Dr. Mena,
and our amazing advisor, Carrie Wilson.
We cannot express how grateful we all are for allowing us to host you all tonight. Once again, we would like to thank you all of our gurus, for all that you have done for us so far, and for the brilliant work that we know is undoubtedly to follow. We would also like to thank all our fellow students and community members for joining us here tonight and showing a support for us and for our dear professors. At this time, we would like to open up the session to the professors and administration members present here today for any comments or feedback that you may have. Please raise your hand so that through the reaction section so that we can unmute you.
I just wanted to congratulate you all. This is beautiful. It's lovely and always an opportunity for us to learn so much from you. So thank you again. I know that this is Hindu Yuva's first year doing this, but it's been a joy and to be on this journey with you all. And I just congratulate you and thank you for welcoming us and teaching us.
I can call out your names and we can go one by one. Sorry, if a certain person, it would be a lot smoother. I believe Professor Lundin was also raising his hand. If you would like to speak, Professor Lundin.
Okay. I know you've unmuted me. I'm Professor Bruzy. I just wanted to very quickly say how honored I am to have been invited to this, and how very touched I am, and how much it means to me to teach at Rutgers, and how I thank you all so very much.
Thank you so much.
They've done meeting.
Professor Vandana.
Yeah, I got it. This ceremony is very humbling and affirming at the same time. And it really, I want to acknowledge one of my gurus, Dr. Seamus O'Reilly, who taught me medieval and Renaissance music at University of Cincinnati, and he is no longer with us. But this pandemic teaching that we've been doing on Zoom has reminded me, this was in the mid 80s, and he talked about a fantasy that he had that someday he would be able to sit in the chair like Captain Kirk on the bridge of the Starship Enterprise and push a button, and the score to a piece of music would play on the screen, and the recording of the music would play and remotely, and he would be able to share this with his students. It would be such an improvement in the experience for the students. And every time that I'm doing that, whether it's at a podium in a classroom or over Zoom at my laptop in my studio here, I think of Dr. O'Reilly, and I think of him with love and respect. And so I would like to bring his name and his person to you to honor today, Dr. Seamus O'Reilly.
Thank you so much. Professor Mueller, if you would like to speak.
I just wanted to say thank you very much. This was a wonderful event. Vish, I am so grateful for your time with working with me as an IA. It was so kind of you to invite me. I had forgotten in this year how wonderful it is to see Rutgers students doing things that are not homework assignments and not academic work. There's so much life in everyone. And that we get to share when we're together. And it was a great joy to get to be together this evening. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Professor Aguilar.
Yes, thank you so much. This is just the greatest honor to be here at my time at Rutgers. I don't think I've been a part of something so beautiful, and I just want to say thank you to all the organizers and to the students who nominated me. I think that I can really speak to a lot of instructors when I say this, that like we learn from students how we're able to do this work. You are our gurus as well, and we would not be able to do this. So I just want to say thank you so much, and this is definitely going in my mantle because I'm very proud of this. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Professor Roy Chaudhary. Sorry, give me 1 second. Someone will have to unmute you. There you go.
Thank you so much for inviting me to this. And I really loved the experience. It was a really very, very humbling experience. And thank you all for organizing this. And I hope you keep going forward with this. And it was really also very nice to hear about the things that you had to say, because I'm myself a part of the a member of the Vedanta Society and the Ramakrishna Mission. So it's really nice to hear this from you, and nice to know that young people are being motivated by his work and his message. So, and it's also a very, very good experience to be at Rutgers. My experience in Rutgers has been very good. So I hope all of you also have a very pleasant time and a interesting time in this university. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Professor Ponnasamy.
Thank you very much for inviting me, Hindu Yuva, as well as Darsh, for remembering me. It's really nice after so many years, you remember your teachers. I remember my teachers too, and without students, we are never teachers. So thank you very much and God bless.
Thank you so much. Carrie?
Hi there. I just wanted to echo everyone's sentiment in terms of, congratulating you, thanking you for the appreciation you've extended to us, but also just really commending you on a beautiful, beautiful ceremony. Your creativity and how you put this together, working with you all as your advisor has been just such a joy. So good job and thank you.
Thank you so much. If anyone else would like to speak, please raise your hand and we'd love to unmute you and have you speak. Professor Wicks.
Thank you. I can't tell you how touched and honored I was to be here. And I, like Chancellor Molloy, I came out of the Rutgers system as well as an undergraduate. And I am so thankful to be back with my gurus, still teaching in industrial and systems engineering. And it's without them, I wouldn't be back where I am today. And my joy every day is interacting with my students. So thank you for all that you give back to me.
Thank you so much. Professor Hellman.
I just wanted to say and reiterate what's already been said. I am really, truly honored and humbled. It was a beautiful ceremony. I'm proud of all the students that are involved here. I'm inspired by the speakers who say that after 30 years, they still have relationships with their professors and their gurus and mentors. And I truly, truly am so grateful for you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Professor Hines. I think someone has to unmute. Will the host be able to unmute, please?
Hello? Can you? Okay, great. I just want to say thank you so much. It was truly a humbling experience. I want to commend you on a job well done. A special thank you to Darsh. He's taking 2 of my classes, so that speaks volumes. I really appreciate the opportunity, and it's an experience that I will never forget.
Thank you so much. Dr. Mena.
Just wanted to simply say thank you. I mean, it's really been captured well by everybody. You've given us a gift today. As Dr. Holloway said, the potential that this reflects the potential that higher education has for transforming the world. And I wish that we can capture what happened here today in the bottle and send it and give it as gifts to the world, because again, we very much need the spirit of what happened here today. So I want to say thank you for the gift that you've given us.
Thank you so much. I'll quickly spotlight Vishwajit to wrap up and conclude our event. And I'd like to thank all of you for taking the time out of your busy schedules. I know all of you probably have classes to teach or going into classes right now. So we really, really thank you from the bottom of our heart for joining and attending and accepting our invitation. So thank you so, so much. It means a lot to all of us.
Just to conclude, thank you so much for everyone who attended, also to watch the Guru Vandana event along with us. And if we missed anybody's name, we really apologize. We tried. I think just with virtually, it's really hard to notice where everyone is with this kind of population on Zoom call. We humbly apologize if anyone was missed, and we'll send over the recording to everybody who registered. and attended. And if you would like to click a picture with the gifts that you've received today and send it to us, we would really appreciate that. And yeah, thank you so much for attending. Namaste.
I also think Dr. Nanda wanted to say something really quickly. So someone could spotlight him.
Thanks, Shanvi. I can't let go, but I need to send a message to your president. The law is poor. The law has lost because we needed him as a brilliant lawyer, and he did not join our profession. So I just wanted to tell him that we are the losers and you are the winners. So I want to send that message to him. Thank you.
Yeah, I think that's the end of our event. Thanks everyone for joining. Namaste.
Namaste, everyone. Thank you so much.